Karibu sana.
Thank you.
And congratulations. The polls say that you have absolutely no competition so far.
Thank God. That's all I can say for now.
It's not true.
We have a serious candidate in Makweli.
Yeah.
Let's
Only that candidate has no name.
nameless until then.
Yes.
But it's 97 or plus days, so a lot can change. But let's get into this running mate issue, possibly from Wiper and how you're looking at it. Please bring us up to speed. Why does Wiper insist they need the deputy president and anything else happening as Azimio looks like a competition of sorts? We're not seeing that from UDA.
It's not actually insisting. That's the wrong word. It's not insisting, and it's not even a fight. We believe that there was a negotiation at the time when Azimio was signed into, before Azimio became a coalition party. That was a negotiation, and that negotiation was to the effect that Kalonzo Musyoka will be considered for deputy president. That's why in his initial statements, in fact, after the initial meetings, he used a legal word. You might have to write it down in Latin. It's res ispa loquitur when that question was asked. It means that the facts are obvious, and therefore it came to surprise us as Wiper when a statement was issued in Manzoni. In fact, this issue became a little poisonous when one Professor Makau Mutua issues a notice, I don't know to who, but to everybody, saying that the running mate question is still a matter that is under discussion. Two, obviously, we thought and were advised that the coalition political party summit, where my good friend Sabina Chege sits, was supposed to sit and sort out those issues at that level, not at a level where you have to subject my party leader to what looks like a class 7 class teacher examination as to whether it's a running mate. Now, if you were to ask who is Kalonzo Musyoka, unless you have not been in this country and you don't read and you live in a dark place, in a hole, no, everybody knows Kalonzo. In my case, I have even suggested, and I can offer, to buy books. The book of Kalonzo Musyoka is called Against All Odds. For the 7 members, if they want to know who Kalonzo Musyoka is, we can give them those books. But to subject Kalonzo Musyoka to what appears to be, there's no word to describe, an exercise where you ask him, by the way, tell us who you are, what have you been doing, where have you been?
We don't know that for sure. That's what's going to happen. But Sabina, is that what's happening in this Azimio? Like, there's 2 different setup of ideas on how we'll arrive at a running mate, and Wiper is not aware of any discussions about running mates.
Well, I wouldn't speak about any arrangements that were there before or agreement because I was not party to it. But let me say one thing. I think humility is a virtue. And I think if we look at our friends from UDA, we saw the deputy president going for an interview and answering questions for him to be confirmed as a presidential candidate for his side. I don't think that was something that would say it was lack of respect. Yes, Putula is right, I think, the council. And when the decision of the panel was made, His Excellency Kalonzo Musyoka was there. Actually, in the panel, he has given one person. Not everybody was given the privilege of, naming the persons in the panel, but he has a person in the panel. So he was part and parcel of the decision made by the council. And I think at the council, he didn't have any objection. You see, sometimes when you have too many people pulling you and pushing you that this must be it, this must be it, sometimes we miss the point. But for me, I believe a running mate is a person who complements the candidate. And it should be somebody that is being forced to the candidate. It should be somebody that they complement each other. And most importantly, I think we've had Kalonzo Musyoka with Raila Amolo Odinga running as a pact. They didn't win. I will not say that he's disqualified or they will not win, but I think it is important for everybody to have an open mind. By the time you choose to be in certain coalition, you must be convinced first about what the coalition believes in. Number two, about the candidate. And I think we've seen several people. We've seen Martha Karua, we've seen Gideon Moi.
But not
all
everyone
of them,
is equal, right?
All of them, not everyone is equal. But the thing is, and that's what I've said, how do you compliment the candidate? And why would you, I said humility, why would you not want to appear on something that you agreed? And as he said rightly, Kalonzo Musyoka is very much well known. So I don't think you should shy away from appearing. Those are respected members, and I know Kalonzo is a Christian. We have bishops who are there, and I know he respects also those men of cloth, and I would expect that he would trust them, even his own person who is there. I think it is good. He has said Kalonzo has done a book. If we look at the Obama memoirs, and there's one called A Promised Land, and he really gave an outline of why he chose Joe Biden to be his running mate and not any other person. And I think looking at Obama then, who was a newcomer in politics, who really had a lot of following with the young people and the women, but he needed somebody who was experienced on the other side, who had stayed longer. And
Right.
We know Joe Biden was there for 35 years. And then, of course, we needed the other side of the conservatives.
So basically it's about
Balancing
balancing
and somebody who really complements. Look at the candidates, look at his strength, then his weaknesses. Look at the person who can try and bridge the gap. I think that should be a fair way of looking at a running mate.
I'll come back to that, but